What kind of bird are you?
I'm a sparrow. She's a dove.
No, I said, what kind of bird are you?
Welcome to What the Flick, everybody. Ben Mankiewicz, Christy Lemire, Alonso Duralde, Wes Anderson's latest, well, we'll see. It's doing incredibly well on Rotten Tomatoes, but
as well it should be. Yeah, Matt's not here to join us because he's stuck in traffic on the 405, but you get the three of us instead. Moonrise Kingdom. This is the latest film from Wes Anderson, and I would say his best since Rushmore. And I love Rushmore very, very dearly, so that's a big compliment from me. It's about two 12-year-old kids in 1965 living on a little remote island off the coast of New England, and they're misfits, and they fall in love with each other and decide to run away together, but there's no place to go. Nevertheless, Bill Murray and Frances McDormand and Bruce Willis and Edward Norton chase them through the rugged terrain. Take a look.
Dear Susie, here's my plan.
Dear Sam, my answer is yes.
Dear Susie, 1.
Dear Sam, where?
Dear Susie, walk 400 yards due north from your house to the dirt path which has not got any name on it. Turn right and follow to the end. I will meet you in the meadow.
Who's missing? Shukusky, you in there? Jiminy Cricket, he flew the coop.
Walt, where the hell are you?
Right here.
Does it concern you that your daughter has just run away from home?
That's a loaded question. Till help arrives, I'm deputizing the little guy, the skinny one, and the boy with the patch on his eye to come with me in the station wagon.
C'est le temps de l'amour, le temps des copains et de l'aventure.
What am I looking at?
He does watercolors, mostly landscapes, but a few nudes.
If we find him, I'm not going to be the one who forgot to bring a weapon. Me neither.
Where's the boy? I'm told that he's just been struck by lightning.
It's true.
I'll be out back. I'm going to find a tree to chop down.
I don't have the same affection for Wes Anderson movies that everybody else does. I like them, and I like that they exist, but there's a to me, so often a intentional and a forced quirkiness there that I literally feel like I'm seeing the characters drawn. Like I'm seeing them created on the page, and I don't feel that they're missing a significant amount of humanity.
Which is why I think Fantastic Mr. Fox is actually his best movie.
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox
Because he
so
gets
much.
to create his little diorama and he gets to manipulate, and it's sort of like the kind of his truest,
Right,
thing.
that's a totally fair point. However, I thought there was enough humanity here that all of a sudden I was like, okay, these people are quirky, but I might meet them. And they resonated in a way that those other movies haven't. And I like those other movies. I just don't revere them the way.
Well, I don't revere them all.
I know, but even Rushmore. I liked Rushmore. It was probably my favorite of them. But again, I felt like these guys, they were so. I don't mind weird, but they just felt intentionally weird. But we're not talking about that here. I thought, oh my God, I recognize this.
Well, with each film he made after Rushmore, he got further and further away from what it was that made that so lovely and so special, because he was so obsessed with the details. And everyone uses the word twee, but twee is the word to use here. And the details define the characters at the expense of actual character development. You're not watching real people, you're watching their stuff.
By Darjeeling Limited, it was all about the luggage and the towels.
Right, and there is, the stuff matters here as well, but they're so lovely and so beautifully drawn, and there's such a wistful kind of longing to be understood and be loved. And the fact that it is about these kids makes it seem more innocent and more pure, and the kids are great in it. I loved it.
He gets a bad rap, I think, for the intensity of his art direction, and for how much attention he pays to detail and to handwriting and fonts and, note cards and old tape recorders and old typewriters and all this stuff. But to me, it feels like this is his world, and he's, it's one of those directors like Todd Haynes where you feel like he is literally just opening up the top of his head and letting us look right into his brain. And so it never feels forced to me or sort of cutesy ironic. It really feels genuine. And I think that this movie really kind of plays into one of his sort of ongoing obsessions, which is, well, there's two books I think that really kind of define a lot of his stuff. One is Catcher in the Rye, which is about a runaway, and one is from the mixed up files of Mrs. Basil Lee Frankweiler, which is about two runaways who hole up in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And so this movie, again, you've got these runaways, they're misunderstood, they have this intense bond. And so the movie is about them and about everybody else trying to find them. And in that, yes, we get all the quirky, twee Wes Anderson touches, but they feel like they're in service of the story and not like he started with them and then worked backwards to find characters out of them.
And it's such a great cast, and the fact that they're all so miserable, right? Like Beth McDormand and Bill Murray are these married, detached lawyers. You don't want to see these kids turn into them. Like the kids still have hope. Like there's still optimism and possibility to fall in love and be happy. And so the fact that like everyone is so melancholy all around them just really like serves that sense of longing for them.
Yeah, there was a recognizable melancholiness to it, again, that didn't feel to me like, look at me showing these melancholy characters. So I thought that, and so that, you know, and there were a couple of really great, genuine moments then among those characters, and I thought they were all great. I mean, you expect it. It's funny. I was about to say you expect it from Frances McDormand and Bill Murray, and it's weird to say that, but you do. I mean, you expect it now from Bill Murray and Bruce Willis, who I think is, you know, I guess maybe everybody does. Just a really underrated as an actor when he's called upon to be a regular actor, and I thought he was great.
The one scene with him and the little boy when he's making him dinner and giving him a beer is just it's so sad and so lovely.
Great scene.
But also I make it sound like this is a totally depressing movie because it's very wistful and very nostalgic. It moves really beautifully.
Yes.
It's very thrilling
and it's very funny, and there's a lot of like French New Wave to it. I mean, it's very appropriately set in the mid-60s because there's that great scene with the two of them on the beach and the camera's like tracking up to both of them separately, and they're dancing to like, you know, Françoise Hardy on a little plastic turntable, and you know, I mean, it's easy to get lost in caught up in the little details, but ultimately, yeah, this is a really sweet kind of preteen love story, basically. And you know, just from the moment they meet, where like it's a room full of girls and he just laser locks on her, you know, yeah, it's adorable, and it is definitely, I think, one of Wes Anderson's best ones. I don't know that it's going to win over people who've already decided that they are not down for his brand of, you know, whatever.
It's very
but
him, yes.
we reviewed Snow White and the Huntsman today also, and like all these girls who I know are excited, friends of mine who are excited to see Snow White, and I think they're going to be disappointed despite your review, Christy. But like, see this. This is a really romantic movie. This is a really, really, really romantic movie, and lovely and sweet and funny, and I loved it. I couldn't love it more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Give your number, please.
9.
My number is also 9.
You know, in talking about this, I will go 9 also.
Okay, that makes math easy.
Carry
Carry the
27. 9. Let's do a 9. Yeah, it's terrific. It's a great movie.
There's like a person singular out there who does not like it in the tomato world.
Yeah, it's in the high 90s, I think.
Like 97%
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something like that. So enjoy.